It's very touching to be here and with you all. So, this tragic event, I believe, has made this city stronger. So, thank you for not forgetting. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I want to begin this morning by acknowledging and thanking all those who are here with us and who have helped make this dedication possible. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the family members who are here with us and are maybe on the way or are thinking about us. Maria, Andrea, Saren, Winters, Orion, thank you all. I'd also like to acknowledge the Capital Gazette staff, both current and former, who are here today. The presence of family, friends, and colleagues of Gerald, Rob, Rebecca, Wendy, and John make this ceremony truly special. So thank you. Today's dedication would not be possible without the support of so many. I'd like to acknowledge some of the partners and special guests who are here with us today. On behalf of our federal partners, Jessica Clateman is here representing Chris Van Hollens. Kyra Mahoney is here on behalf of Congresswoman Sarah Elfreth. Members of the state delegation are with us this morning. Delegate Dana Jones, Delegate Dylan Baylor. Thank you for being here and for championing and supporting this city's application for this state highway marker. We couldn't have done this without you. Senator Shanika Henson was hoping to be here today but was delayed in court this morning. She sends her respects. I'd like to acknowledge Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs and Strategy for MDOT, Ms. Joanna Green, as well as members of the Maryland Transportation Commission who are here with us today. I'd like to recognize and thank Commission Chair Justin Towles, Deputy Director of State Legislation Affairs for MDOT. And Nora Corsentini and their teams who have helped steer us through this process and designed and installed the marker. State Archivist Elaine Bachman and members of her team are also here this morning, and we thank you truly. Councilwoman Lisa Rodvian is with us. And members of the Annapolis City Council, Alderman Pindell Charles. I'd like to also acknowledge the city and county first responders who played such an important role in the events we are remembering today, earning our gratitude forever. From the County Sheriff's Office, we have Sheriff Everett Siska. Chief Deputy Colonel James Williams. Captain Brian Andre and Acting Captain Young Her. From the City of Annapolis, we have Police Chief Ed Jackson and Deputy Police Chief Stan Branford. Also Fire Chief Doug Romali and Chief of Emergency Management Kevin Simmons. But particular thanks and acknowledgement must go to Carl Snowden and the Caucus of African American Leaders of Anne Arundel County for their advocacy for this project. And finally, I want to thank and acknowledge the city staff from Recreation and Parks, Annapolis Police Department, and from my office who helped this project to fruition and to organize today's ceremony. Thank you all. A little over 7 years ago, the Annapolis community was shaken to its core when a mass shooting, the first in our city's history, took place at the Capitol Gazette. We lost 5 incredible people that day: Gerald, Rob, Rebecca, Wendy, and John. We each have our own memories of them. Let us please take a few moments to honor them in our hearts with a minute of silence. Thank you. On that awful day in 2018, our lives were forever changed. But as years pass, we realize we're not just changed because of what happened that day. We are changed because of all the days that came before that, the days when they were with us. We are changed because we had the privilege to know them and to live beside them. We are changed for the better because they were those who helped us, and we are here because of them. The story of the Capitol Gazette 5, the title by which we will honor them through this highway marker, is not just a story about the tragic way we lost them. It's not just a story about the horror and scourge of gun violence. It's not just a story about the vital role of journalists in the way free press underpins democracy. It's all those things, of course, but it's also more, and a far more personal thing. It's the story of who they were and all that they achieved and stood for, and all the ways that they shaped us. That is why, as the years pass, it's important to find new ways to ensure their lives and their stories continue to be remembered, continue to be honored, and continue to be shared with others. It is why, when Carl Snowden approached me with the idea of requesting a state highway marker in their honor, we were immediately on board. We gather here today to unveil this marker and dedicate a portion of State Highway to the Capitol Gazette 5. We gather in what will become a new Gateway Park at the entrance of our city. I'm proud that visitors to Annapolis and to this park and to all the residents who go back and forth this way will now see not only the iconic State House dome, but also a highway marker. The gifts and legacies of Rob, Wendy, Gerald, Rebecca, and John will be woven into a new experience of being here, coming to Annapolis, coming home. Through this marker and through the landmarks and places dedicated to their memory, and through all of us, they live on, still speaking to us, still shaping our stories, still and always part of our community. Thank you all. I now have the honor of introducing the Carl Snowden, the Honorable Carl Snowden. Please come forward.
Let me thank Mayor Gavin Buckley and his staff, Kate and Mitchell and Julian. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge Elder Charles James, who's with us, as well as Juanita Cage Lewis, who originally initiated this idea. What a beautiful day. I want to make sure that we understand what's going on and why this moment is important. 7 years ago, when these journalists and staff died, I will never forget that I was in the office meeting with Mayor Buckley and his staff when a staff member came in and whispered in his ear that a shooting had taken place at the Capitol. When we left that particular meeting, many of us thought the Capitol they were referring to was the State House. We later learned, of course, that it was the Capitol newspaper, and that men and women that I had worked with, people that I knew, Gerald Fisherman was one of the ones who would edit my commentaries. Wendy Winters, I knew personally, considered her a friend. But today's mark is more than recognizing them in that tragic moment. It's to remind all of us of something that's very important. Even now, as we speak, if you're a journalist, if you're a member of the media, if you're a truth teller, we have a government that has said that we will come after you. This is very important. The First Amendment is the most important amendment that we have in this Constitution. Congress shall make no law to abridge that amendment. And yet, when we look at what's going on in America, when we look at the fact that journalists who speak their truth, comedians who do their craft, men and women who want to be truth tellers, there is a strange thing occurring in America, and everything has an origin. I remember very, very well these words, spoken before these journalists were murdered. People occupying the highest office of the land once said, the press, the media is, quote, enemies of the people. That's dangerous. It's dangerous to set that kind of climate where people are told that if you're a journalist, if you write, if you publish, if you be a truth teller, you're considered an enemy of the people. I conclude my remarks with this. I'm a historian. I've read history. I know it well. I know what the role the media has played in our nation and in our history. James Madison was no fool when of all of the amendments that he proposed, he wanted to have the First Amendment, being the right to assemble, being the right to speak, being the right to publish. Make no mistake about it. We're living at a time now where we're at a crossroads. And the one thing I want people who see this marker when they come to Annapolis on their way to the State House, I want the legislators to know why Madison felt this First Amendment was so important. The people who died on that day doing their job never thought they would be martyrs, but they were. The reason we built a memorial called the Guardians of the First Amendment in downtown Annapolis, because we want to remind all Americans that the most precious right that we have is the First Amendment right. And so when we unveil this memorial, when we unveil this marker, we want to say it loud and clear to all who were here. The media is not the enemies of the people. What the media is the fourth estate, a very important fourth estate. My mother, who died at the age of 104 years old, would religiously pick up the Capitol every day. When Wendy Winters did a profile on her grandsons, she was so proud. For those who passed and for the families, we will never, ever forget the role that they played in our community. May their memory be a blessing. Aluta continua. which simply means the struggle continues. God bless.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Tolles. I have the honor of chairing the Maryland Transportation Commission, and it's the Transportation Commission's role to review applications for dedications or naming of state transportation facilities. And several months back, Carl, who I've known for a long time, approached me with this idea, which is right up Carl's alley, because for all of the incredible accolades Carl has and should receive, he's always making sure that others are being recognized, and that's a testament to Carl, to your personality and the legacy that you bring. I want to first of all thank and echo Mayor Buckley for everyone that's come today. First and foremost, thanks so much to the families of those that are being honored today, their friends, their colleagues. See a number of them, throughout the audience. Also to the mayor, his incredible staff, worked most directly with Kate, Mitchell, and Brian. They've been fantastic through this entire process. Also to our state elected officials that are here, obviously our federal elected officials. In fact, I spoke with Congresswoman Sarah Elfreth on the way here, and she wanted to make very sure that I let everyone know how much she's thinking of everyone here and how much she wanted to be here with all of us. And then, of course, on behalf of Governor Moore, our great governor of the state, and the acting Secretary of Transportation, and I would be remiss for not mentioning our Assistant Secretary Green, who's here with us today. So thank you so much for coming out to this very important ceremony. And I just wanted to mention from a personal standpoint, I live in Montgomery County now, but I'm from Anne Arundel County. And I grew up in politics here, and I spent a lot of time at the Gazette. And I'm a life member of the Revere Beach Fire Department. I've been a firefighter in Anne Arundel County for 25 years. And every day, on our table in the kitchen, you'd see the Capitol Gazette. And it really, to me, was our connection to the community. And I think that's something that, we really need to remember and look at, is that on the national stage, sometimes when you talk about media, we lose something in translation, and there's question of, what's bias, what's truth. But when it comes down to a paper like this, where the journalists, the people that are running that paper are members of your community, there's no question. Because I saw them constantly at events, at open houses for the fire department, at meetings in the community. We see them everywhere. So it's not hearing from some amorphous media. It's hearing from your friends, your family members, your community members. And I think that really is important. It played a really important role, not just in letting you know what's going on that weekend, letting you know the news, whether it be crime, sports, or what's going on the political side of things in Annapolis. I always just considered the Gazette really my go-to point of information. And when I heard about this tragedy, it hit me very personally. I knew several of the victims. I knew John Mack, and Rebecca was a friend of mine. We went to school together, and so that hit very hard. At the time, I didn't even know she was working there, and that was very traumatic to me. And so this is a little personal to me, and I'm really happy to be back here in Anne Arundel County and able to help to dedicate this. Each person on this team really brought something special. I've read all of their work, and and Rebecca, I know, was working in sales, which is probably maybe the most important of all of it, because you can write to yourself, and if it's not getting out there anywhere, you can't afford a sustainable newspaper, it's pretty much useless. So everyone really played a key role here, and they deserve this honor. The one thing that I'll just mention about this that's a little bit background that's important to know is we, as the Transportation Commission and MDOT, do not name or dedicate roads or facilities for events. We are not today recognizing a tragedy. And when you'll see the unveiling of the sign, it will say the Capitol Gazette 5. But that's really more limitation that we have on the signage because of standards that we have to meet. The commission debated this pretty vigorously because while this is a very notable event and obviously rises to the level where we want to recognize and honor it, it did not meet our charge of recognizing individuals of Marylanders of significance. So Marylanders are groups of significance to Maryland. And without having to dig deeper about each individual. So we did that. And because our commission was not comfortable moving forward unless we knew that we could look at every single one of these individuals and be comfortable that it was not this tragedy that made them a Marylander of significance, but it was the life that they lived and the memory and what comes on the tail end of all this. And so we took a thorough dive into that. There was a lot of discussion, and we decided that this dedication is, while for the Capital Gazette 5, it is not honoring the tragedy that happened. It is honoring those 5 individuals for each being a Marylander of significance, and we are comfortable doing that. So I thank you all for being here again, and I'm happy to honor these 5 individuals. And this will serve as a memory of them, and also that truth often does have a price with it, and we honor what they brought to our community and their legacy. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marty Patton, and I'm the advertising director for the Capital Gazette. And I first and foremost want to thank Justin for pointing out that advertising and sales is the most important part of the Capital Gazette, so thank you so much. There's probably a lot of people that would disagree. And I know a lot of my distinguished colleagues spoke very eloquently, much better than I could, about the First Amendment and other issues that we're faced with now. So I'm going to stick to more about what the victims meant to us and what this plaque means to us and the community involvement. But I'm very humbled, first and foremost, to be a part of this and to be asked to speak today. The support that this community has shown in honoring this tragic event that took place on June 28th and in remembering the memory of Gerald, Rob, John, Rebecca, and Wendy is just very humbling and overwhelming. With today's highway dedication, we create a visible and lasting tribute as thousands of people travel along Rowe Boulevard. They will see this sign and be reminded of the lives taken far too soon and of the resilience that defines this community. I would like to thank the City of Annapolis, the Caucus of African American Leaders, Carl, you in particular, you've been an amazing supporter of this, and the Maryland Transportation Commission for their partnership in making this tribute possible. This memorial is not only a marker of the remembrance, it also represents our shared responsibility to honor free expression, to stand up against violence, and to hold close the people and principles that matter most. May this sign forever stand as both a reminder of our loss and a symbol of the hopes and strength that comes when a community unites. So again, I want to first and foremost thank the Mayor Buckley. You were amazing from day one. Your support has not been unnoticed. Carl, again, you've been amazing. The Mayor's office, Kate, Mitchell, thank you so much for your support. I want to thank all the current and former Capital Gazette employees, the Baltimore Sun. The Baltimore Sun somewhat times gets unrecognized for their support, but they were just an integral part of how our paper continued to be published afterwards. And I just know from being part of the event and the aftermath how much it shook this community up. And that in and of itself, we had recognition from not just all over the world, which we did. We have letters that just covered our walls with people just giving their condolence and their support. But this community in particular, it did not go unnoticed. Your support was just very healing and helped us heal as a business unit and really gave us motivation to continue and serve this community. So again, I want to thank everyone for being here today. I'm truly humbled and I appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Great. Now, if we could get Delegate Jones and Delegate Baylor to come up with Mayor Buckley, we're going to go ahead and unveil These are small miniature versions of the sign, which we're going to give to the family. This way. You too. It's okay. Yep. Interested? Yep. And then we'll bring the family up, family of the victims. Delegate Jones, would you like to do the honors and unveil the state highway marker? There you go. And there's 5 markers there, one for each member of the family. We also are going to unveil the actual marker, which is just down the way here. We'd like to ask most of you to keep your seats aside from victims, family, and those who were at the Capitol during that time, and members of the media. We'll go ahead, go down there, unveil the sign, then we will allow everybody else to come down, but there's not a lot of space and there's a lot of traffic, so we just want to keep safety in mind. Thank you. You can go ahead and hand them out. Oh, so sorry. I think that Matt is going to take. Matt is going to take it. He does think that. Thank you. Now, this smaller delegation, if we could head down to the sign for the unveiling, thank you. And we will be right back.
Yeah.